What's up, friends? Today I'm going to talk to you about the Sigma 18-35mm f1.8 DC lens. This lens sounds awesome on paper, and it is targeted towards crop sensor cameras, and I have a full frame camera body. First of all, I just want to say I'm a huge proponent of prime lenses with a wide aperture. So you probably know where this video is going, but I'm just stating the facts and making some suggestions, and I hope you make an informed decision based on your research. So the Sigma 18-35mm f1.8 lens came out in 2013. So it's been around for a while, but it's still new enough that I couldn't find it used, and I'm a huge fan of used lenses. However, I did find one new lens in stock at Henry's in Toronto. So I went and tried it out, and it was underwhelming. I shouldn't have been underwhelmed because it's a lens that's targeted to crop sensor cameras, and I was using it on a full frame camera body. So obviously there was a lot of vignetting happening. So I have some sample images I'll show you today. Here it is at 18mm, and look how much vignetting there is. Normally I love vignetting, but not when it's this harsh. Like, look at it. It just looks weird. It is whitish, and it had a aperture of f1.8, so it's great if you want to do low light photography, or just want that bokeh, or you want that buttery, depth of field look without having to upgrade your camera body or having to get like a really expensive prime lens. Here's the lens at 25mm on a full frame camera body, and here it is at 35mm. So it's usable only for really 10mm, and it's still $800. It's not the lens you'd want to get if you have a full frame camera body. I should know that. Everyone should know that. I also tried this lens on a 90D, which is a crop sensor body, and it looks much better. Obviously it is cropped in, so keep that in mind when you are using a camera that has a crop sensor. So this lens is great if you accept the focal range that it is, which is 29 to 56mm on a crop sensor body. It has an f-stop of 1.8 all throughout the focal length, but there are other options out there that are much better. So the Sigma 30mm f1.4 is actually focused or targeted to crop sensor users, and it's a lot lighter, a lot smaller, and it's half the price. So this Sigma 18-35mm lens is actually around $949 Canadian, and the Sigma 30mm f1.4 DC lens is only about $450, and if it's on sale I think it's $370. So yeah, and you get like an extra couple f-stops down. So why wouldn't you buy the prime lens instead? So in what conditions would you really thrive with this lens? I can think of maybe a handful of scenarios. When you're taking a photo of a birthday party and we're singing happy birthday to someone with candles as the only light source, perfect lens for that. Or if you are at a bar or a club where you're watching some musicians and there's only spotlights and the space is maybe like the size of 2-3 living rooms length. So if you're a full frame camera body user like me, don't buy this lens. I didn't buy it, and there are some alternatives that I would suggest. The Canon 24mm f1.4, and if that is too wide, there's also the 35mm f1.4. And if you just don't want to buy a Canon lens and you want to support Sigma, there's Sigma's 35mm f1.4 art lens, and apparently a lot of people are like, it is so good, it's buttery, it's mwah. And I personally haven't tried it, but I trust you. And I know these lenses are quite unaffordable and inaccessible. It can be really expensive, but if you save up for it and you invest in it, they are really easy to resell because people are constantly looking for these lenses secondhand. So give it a shot and sell on eBay and Kijiji if you really hate them, And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.